So in the part one, we have talked about creation of the model classes, with the validations, of course. Then followed by that, we have seen how we can create the DB context class with the typical code first approach, which is very popular. We have also seen how we are able to generate the service class, right? Now, if you see that in a service class, we do have the validations which are been implemented. We have the proper check for the if else conditions, right? We do have the validate employee method that has been generated. Let me take you to the definition of that. So here it is basically doing the validation. We can also ask the GitHub Copilot to generate the best practices, to use the best practices so that the code can be further made more readable. For example, let me take you to the create here. Now, what if that there is something wrong with this employee? So let me go here, and again I like to take you to the validate employee method over here. So it is checking for employee name, which is not null. Okay, but what if that the employee object itself is null? Then how can we do that? So let me go here. Then I'll say that can you generate the code for, or I should say precisely, can you refactor the file? So I'm gonna say that employee service. Okay, so let me stop here and then let me do it. And let's see what code is generated. So it is still thinking. Okay, so here, so see that here the properties check is there, right? So values for the properties with is null or white space, that's been checked. Okay, which is which was not there earlier into my validate employee method. Okay, so that's the thing. So we can do this here. Furthermore, we can also say that like generate, or I should say refactor the, okay, create method by checking the nullable value for employee. I should say create and update methods. So why we are doing is that apart from the validations for the employee number, employee name, salary and all that, we also want to make sure that the not nullable type for the create has to be checked. So now see here that we are getting the uh, argument exception over there. Correct. So that's the thing here. That's the best part. So we do have our update that has been changed. We are having our create has been changed. Now why it is like that? So if employee itself is coming null, there is no need to perform the further execution. It will simply get the argument null exception, right? So that's how that we can very well rely on the GitHub Copilot and leverage on the model that has been used on it to get the job done. So here we are having the validate method that is already that was refactored, right? Like that. So let me, I just say preview here, and I'm going to accept it. That's it. So now here we do have the code that is there with us. Okay, this is the way that how we can basically keep on refactoring our code with whatever that we need. So again, guys, very important point here is that you should know the technology, you should be very well aware of the user story on which you are working on, and then accordingly you can rely on a GitHub Copilot for the code generation, right? So this is the part 2. In the next part we will see about the debugging. Okay, thank you.